Jazakallahu khairan. A question from a sister who has specifically asked that this be answered by Dr. Zakir Naik. She says that at my workplace, my non-Muslim colleague has a Muslim partner out of wedlock. My colleague seems quite interested in Islam, yet the Muslim seems reluctant to consider even a small aspect of Islam. How can I tackle this situation? Because so far, I do not feel like I'm achieving much.
Just repeat the question. At my workplace, my non-Muslim colleague has a Muslim partner out of wedlock. My colleague seems quite interested in Islam, but the Muslim seems reluctant to consider even a small aspect of Islam. How can I tackle with the situation? Because so far, I do not feel, since I am achieving
that I've achieved anything. Well, what the sister is saying is that she has a friend at work, and the friend has a Muslim partner that they're living together, not married. The non-Muslim partner, the friend of this sister, she or he is very much interested in Islam, but the Muslim partner is not at all. And she's trying to kind of tackle this issue, but without much success. So she's asking for some advice, some tip.
In short, the two partners, one is Muslim, one non-Muslim, yes, and trying your level best to do dawah with the non-Muslim.
Yes.
That's fine. As far as doing dawah to non-Muslim is concerned, as it's a similar question asked by several people, it's continuing, that when we do dawah to a non-Muslim, the best is to try and understand what the non-Muslim is interested in. If the non-Muslim is interested in science, talk about science. If they're interested in anything dealing with character, deal with character. If the non-Muslim is interested in talking about history, talk about history.
Dr. Zakir, I think the obstacle or the problem is the Muslim partner, it's not the non-Muslim. The non-Muslim partner wants to learn about Islam, or he or she is interested on Islam. But it's the Muslim who is becoming the obstacle. He or she is not wanting to know anything about Islam at all. Now, how can this friend tackle this issue? The Muslim is the obstacle.
Since the Muslim is not interested in speaking about Islam, and the non-Muslim is more interested, how can she do the job? It is both. You have to do Isla, at the same time do dawah. Islam is speaking about Islam to a Muslim who's just a namesake Muslim. So what we have to do is that we have to speak about Islam to the Muslims also. That's what's important, because some people are just namesake Muslims. So you have to talk about Islam to that namesake Muslims, that what is right and what is wrong. At the same time, you have to speak with the non-Muslims who's interested in Islam. So what we have to do, that if suppose certain person is just a namesake Muslims, then we have to talk about Islam. And the reason is that some of the people are just namesake Muslims. So we have to talk about Islam, talk about science. For example, there's a talk I've given on Quran and modern science. And if we talk about Quran and modern science as compared, what is compatible or not compatible, it helps us in conveying the message. Similarly, on the other hand, the Muslim likes Islam, but the Muslim who's a namesake Muslim, he is not too much in favor. So we have to see to it and try and convince them. Convince the Muslim who's a namesake Muslim that dawah is compulsory. At the same time, convey the non-Muslims and tell the non-Muslims about Islam. What happens that many a times, because these namesake Muslims, they don't know about Islam, they are an obstacle, so we have to do Islah with them. Islah with them, and try and, because they're namesake Muslims, so we have to give them books. And if you see my video cassette, Women's Rights in Islam is there, Quran and Modern Science is there, whether the Universal Brotherhood is there, and several other cassettes are there. You have to convince them that Islam is the best way of life, so that you can convey them about the Islamic aspect, as well as with the non-Muslims, to convey them that Islam is the best way of life.
Jazakallahu khair.